Hello, investigators, and welcome to Until the End of Time. My name is Veronica, and thank you so much for joining me for this 5th campaign play along. Wow, it's been a while. I know that the last video I made may have surprised some people that I'm streaming again, and I know you haven't heard from me in a while, so I just want to keep this brief right at the front. I'm not going to go into a lot of what's been going on in my personal life, mostly because there's not actually that much to tell. Safe to say that I'm doing okay right now. Things could be better, but things could be worse, and we're working on things, and I'll let you know if I have more news that I think is worth sharing. Thank you so much for the concern expressed in the comments for the previous video. It really did help. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about what we're here for, the Circle Undone campaign play along. And so what is this stream going to be about? Well, it's going to, of course, as always, quickly explain what the campaign play along is actually about, explaining the rules for deck building, and then something very special that I'm very excited about, or was very excited about, I suppose, was the campaign tarot reading that if you've been in the Discord chat, you will probably have seen. It is my honor to reveal the last tarot card for this reading. And finally, as always, drawing the random basic weaknesses. I'm just going to make sure real quick that the stream is live, everybody can see things. Oh, that's not what's supposed to happen. My bad. Just make sure. We are live, it looks like. Oh, wait. Is everything going well? Is my audio working? I think it should be. 1 second. Just making sure people in the chat, can you hear me? Because I'm getting some errors from YouTube saying that it can't hear my audio, but according to my recording software, I should be broadcasting audio. So I'm just making real sure that you can hear me. Because otherwise, I'm going to be talking to myself. Excellent, people can hear me. All right, well, then let's get on to the quick explanation of the rules. As always, they're the same as always. So in order to play the campaign play along, you join the Discord server, discord.gg/mythosbusters, and you play one scenario per week, reporting the results using a linked Google form. And basically the idea is that there's a conversation, we all kind of play at the same rate, and we all play the same campaign, we use the same deck building rules, and it is meant to be a community experience, right? The entire purpose of this event is to play together and have a good time and have fun. Especially when I started it, it was still very much within COVID regulations, and I was trying to make kind of a community like event that wouldn't be able to do with all the pandemic rules. Fortunately, at least where I live, the pandemic is mostly over, fingers crossed. Hopefully things are getting better, so we'll be able to go to conventions and stuff again, but I still think this is very fun, and I hope people also enjoy it, so definitely worth to keep doing. See people in the chat. Hi. Quick sip of water. A lot of talking on a Saturday morning. So the deck building, it is very simple, and it is the same as always. We use the core set, we use the Investigator starter decks, we use Return to the Night of Zealot on a technicality, we use the expansion that we are playing, so in this case that is the Circle Undone and all 6 Mythos packs, and we use the Return to the Circle Undone box. Cards that are printed in one of these products you can put in your deck, anything else you cannot, with the exception of your Investigator and their signature cards. You can play any Investigator with their signature cards from any expansion, because I felt that was way more fun and creates way more exciting discussion. Same goes for parallel Investigators, replacement signatures, stuff like that. You can use all of that. It's totally cool. So a quick note on the revised core set. If you own the original core set, then you can obviously use that. You don't have to buy the revised core set to play in the campaign play along, but then note that these 13 cards are also legal because we use the list of the revised core set and not the original core set, which I think mostly just matters for lockpicks, let's be honest. Charisma Relic Hunter are kind of important too. So yeah, keep in mind, if you have a complete collection but you don't own the revised core set, that these cards from different expansions are also legal in the campaign play along. If you have any questions about this, you can throw them in the chat right now, but most of the time if you have a question, you can just go to the Discord channel, you can just ping at Veronica. I I'm not there 24/7, but it's pretty close. I'm there way more often than I probably should. But I'm super happy to always be answering questions, no problem. Somebody's asking, 40 teams registered for the CPA, is that a record? I don't know if that's a record for the start of the campaign. I do know it's not a record for the end of the campaign, because there are some campaigns that finished, I think one that finished with over 70 teams, which is insane. But I think that one also, like, usually more teams sign up over the course of a campaign play along. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an all-time high for like the start of the campaign play along, and we'll just have to hope to keep that momentum going as we keep playing. And one of the big reasons why I think it's so high is, of course, the campaign tarot reading. So hopefully a lot of you will have. Frank is asking, should you make it 41? Yeah, of course you should. Why are you? Why are you even asking that? Play the campaign play along. It's fantastic. It's for your fun. It's not at all stressful. Sorry, back on. I'm chatting with chat a lot because it's fun. I don't get to do live stuff terribly often, so it's fun to interact with chat. So the campaign tarot reading, or a campaign tarot reading rather, you take 8 tarot cards, 1 for each scenario that you're going to play. Then you pick 4 of them to invert. So the tarot deck is from the Return to the Circle Undone, and contains these very fancy tarot cards that have an effect in their upright and their inverse position, which give you either a benefit or a drawback. And so what I did is I asked 7 content creators to help me pick out tarot cards for this campaign play along. Now, I should stress right at the start that using these is optional. You don't have to. If you think that's too complicated, or you don't own the Return to box and you're like, I don't want to mess with digital cards, you don't have to. But I think it's super fun, and I am really grateful for all the people who helped me pull these cards and did little previews or tweets or whatever, because I think it really helped bring the community together and really hyped people up for this campaign, if I'm honest. Frank responds positively, peer pressure, excellent. So, for example, the first tarot card, which was pulled by the Mythos Busters, thank you Mythos Busters, was the Hierophant, 5. And it says, during the first willpower test each investigator performs each round, they get +1 willpower. But if you invert it, it instead says, during the first willpower test each investigator performs each round, they get -1 willpower. And you can already kind of see, they have thematically linked inverse and upright positions. And so for scenario 1, if you choose to use the campaign play along, the campaign tarot reading, you will have to decide for the witching hour, do I want to have +1 willpower or -1 willpower on the first willpower test each round? Because if I keep it upright, you're gonna have to invert another card. So moving on to the second scenario, at Death's Doorstep. This was revealed by Optimal Play on their live stream. That was really good explanation, so thank you very much. And it was the Sun. I believe that's 19. During each investigator's first turn, they may take 2 additional actions, or during each investigator's first turn, they have 2 fewer actions to take. So, it's not a big scenario warping effect like the first tarot card, but that first turn is the most important one, right? It's the one where you have to get your stuff set up, get ready. So, big choice to make there. Our third, right, this one's, sorry, immediately start laughing, because this one was revealed by Filian, and I actually chatted with Filian before we coordinated on the tarot cards, and Filian told me, why don't you pull the tarot card, Veronica, because I'm worried that if I'm going to draw it, I'm just going to get a tower again, because I've drawn the tower so many times. And so I go ahead and I go, okay, secret name, Filian, let's draw a tarot card. The Tower 16. Each investigator chooses a basic weakness in their deck and removes it from the game. Return it after the game ends, and invert it. Add a random basic weakness to each investigator's deck. Remove them after the game ends. Filian, I'm so sorry, but you got a good one. So this is for the secret name, which is everybody's favorite rat-based scenario. I honestly can't imagine doing this one inverted, but I've heard people talk about just inverting it because they feel like they don't have a chance or whatever. I don't know. That scenario is already rough enough. I don't need to make it any rougher. Next up, revealed by Davi from, I hope I say that right. I know your name has slightly different pronunciation than people think it is. Who is from Obscure Studies, who revealed the tarot card for the Wages of Sin, which was Temperance, 14. very simple effect. Each investigator gets +1 sanity or -1 sanity, but I found playing with this card, because I have drawn it in campaigns before, it is deceptively warping, because you do have to be very careful if you lose, like, if you're used to having 7 sanity and then suddenly you have 6 sanity, you might be taking risks or putting yourself into positions where, oh, suddenly this -1 sanity is really bad. And I know Wages of Sin is not an easy scenario, so maybe you want the +1 sanity, even though it's like a small effect, because like getting that -1 sanity is real rough. Scenario 5, For the Greater Good, revealed by Voltglass over on Twitch. Voltglass has been doing a lot of live streaming, and I know he's done the live stream. Sorry, I'm missing my line here. I'm checking chat and getting distracted. Voltglass has been doing a lot of live streaming of the campaign play along, actually, so he has experience, and I believe he's also doing the Circle Undone campaign. So the Strength 8. When the game begins, each investigator may play an asset from their hand at -2 cost, or during the first round of the game, each investigator cannot play assets at all. Kind of similar to Scenario 2, which kind of telling, because it's both are the Silver Twilight scenarios. You're messing with your assets, you're messing with your opening hand, with your turn. It's interesting. Scenario 6, Union and Dissolution. The Empress 3, revealed by Pax, user in Discord, also known as Bradley on YouTube. Does a lot of videos. I think he's been doing a lot of playthroughs of Edge of the Earth, or at least one big playthrough that I've seen. Pretty cool guy. I chat with him a lot in Discord, and very nice guy. So the Empress gives you +1 agility or -1 agility during Union Dissolution, and as Pax actually pointed out in his video, there are some interesting reasons why that effect might matter more in Union of Dissolution than it does in most scenarios. Because when I originally saw this card, I was like, oh, that's an easy invert if you're not playing an agility-based investigator. But then I went, wait, there's maybe some good reasons to keep this one upright, because Union of Dissolution is an odd scenario, but it's definitely makes me think. Okay, and then we come to the penultimate one, In the Clutches of Chaos, Judgment 20, revealed by Drawn to the Flame yesterday. This is when the game begins, replace a skull token in the Chaos bag with a 0 token, swap them back after the game ends, or inverted, when the game begins, replace the highest non-negative token in the Chaos bag with a skull token, swap them back after the game ends. I think this one's really interesting, mostly because for some decks, the inverted will be significantly better than the upright, specifically if you're using Mystic cards that care about revealing symbol tokens. So if you're Jim, a skull and a 0 are basically equivalent value anyway. And then, as Drawn to the Flame correctly pointed out, both Defiance and the Sixth Sense are in the card pool. Sixth Sense in particular is a very powerful clue acquisition tool if you have enough symbol tokens. And so Judgments can actually help you put an extra skull into the bag. I expect we'll see quite a couple of inverted Judgments in groups that have Mystics in them. Well, and then we come to the 8th tarot card, which of course you all know is... Oh. Well, that's awkward. There should be something here. Do you know which tarot card it's supposed to be? Huh. Well, I'll guess we're gonna have to do something about that, huh? Hi. Yeah, sorry. Just a quick look in the studio, I guess, but I kind of was expecting this not to have to do this, but this is yeah, it's real awkward. So I guess I just have my tarot deck here. I guess we'll just have to... It's kind of awkward with the microphone in my face, so I guess I just have to shuffle like this. I hope you can hear the shuffle at least. So I guess I just have to reveal a random tarot card here, huh? Well. Yep, almost dropped my tarot deck. Here we go. The Worlds. So I'm pretty sure you can't see it with this lighting, so I'm just going to read it out for you. The World 21. Each investigator not defeated during this game may remove one trauma of their choice during its resolution. And inverted. Each investigator defeated during this game suffers one trauma of their choice during its resolution. Which brings us to the 8 tarot cards involved these are your options. This is what you're gonna have to do. You have to pick, if you're taking this, which again, it is optional, you're gonna have to use 4 of these in the upright position and 4 of these in the inverted positions. And so the story behind the world is actually somewhat of a funny story, because as many of you will undoubtedly have noticed, its effect doesn't really do anything in the last scenario. I think it has amazing art that is actually very thematic for the last scenario, but the effect, well, you don't really care about trauma if you lose the last scenario, and likewise, if you win the last scenario, removing a trauma, not that important. So I expect a lot of people will invert this, and you might say, Veronica, why didn't you just, grab a different one? Well, truth be told, I did. I shuffled, I grabbed the world, went, well, this doesn't do anything, so I shuffled again, I pulled, and I drew the world again. It was like, well, no. Universe is telling me a message. It's supposed to be the world. So, congratulations, you get a free roll, I suppose. I'm very interested to hear what people think. I know people in the chat have already discussed options for what they're planning on doing. I hope to see discussion in the campaign play along channel. I'm going to linger on this chat for just a second longer, and then we're going to go back to the other thing that we're here for, which is the random basic weaknesses. I will be posting this in chat, don't worry. If you need to reference it later, it will be in the Discord chat. So, random basic weaknesses. Everybody who registered has had a chance to record whether or not they want to have their random basic weaknesses drawn. Yes, Chris correctly points out the other one that would have been very funny is the Fool, which is the one I think that gives you additional experience. And yes, it is very thematic. Azathoth. I don't know if it's explicitly Azathoth on the art, but it is very certainly the world being devoured by an ancient one on the art. So, let me just swap around back to my face for a second. So, time for the random basic weaknesses. If you haven't registered yet, I guess you could still do it, but you can also just ask in chat for me to draw your random basic weaknesses. I will be doing that just because, why not? I'm here anyway. Specifically, if you do that, please let me know which collection you want me to pull from, because there's a lot of weaknesses, but not everybody has all the cards, and I don't want to be drawing you a weakness that you can't actually play with. And so I have my stack of basic weaknesses here. I'm just going to be shuffling up, drawing random basic weaknesses for everybody that registered. Hope you're ready. Drum roll, please. Oh, I should do that for next time. I should actually have a drum roll in here. So first up, we have. I need to find some way to make this a little easier. Oh wait, I can just do this because I don't need that screen anymore. Excellent. So first up, we have Team You Read That Right with full collection. And there are 2 investigators, a Stella Clark and a Winifred. So for Stella, you have a Day of Reckoning. And for Winifred, you have Haunted, which I think is very thematic for TCU. Especially because it does also kind of work with the card Haunted, because it makes you more likely to fail your tests. Next up, we have the Book Signing Club. Campaign play along only from Chris. Hey, Chris, you're in chat, right? I'm gonna have to draw campaign play along only, so I'm gonna have to draw how many investigators? 2, right? Don't worry, Chris, I got you. Well, Chris, your first investigator is Daisy Walker, which is the Mob Enforcer. And for Jacqueline Fine, she's Reckless. The next person does not want their weaknesses pulled, or at least did not say so. The next person is... Oh. How can a gun be a witch? For Pervert. Tommy Muldoon has... Well, sorry Tommy, you're doomed. Oh, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. Although, I guess out of... So Pervert's other investigator is Daisy, which I think doomed on Daisy would be much worse. Although Daisy has a leg injury, which isn't great either. Oof. Pervert, I'm sorry that I just ruined your campaign. If you don't want to play with Doomed, you can play with Offer You Can't Refuse instead. Wow, that's brutal. Okay.
Next up, we have Haskell for the team Double Double Despairs in Trouble, which is a great team name. With the 13th Vision. Oh, that's one from the Circle Undone. For Preston. And Jacqueline has a Stubborn Detective. Next, we have Syndicate Assassin. For Preston and Gloria. I see that they've registered twice. The first one is for Preston and Gloria. Preston has Aticophobia. I think that's how to pronounce that, which is actually kind of rough on Preston, because Preston doesn't have great skills, and that's the weakness that when you fail a skill test, you take a hover. And Gloria has Through the Gates. Always an interesting weakness. And finally, for Joseph Diamond, it's pretty funny, Joe is self-destructive. Let's see. For the next team is the team The True Monsters by Benyo Tuhulu. For Zoe Samaras and Monterey Jack. I just have to check because they have some specific instructions. Okay, I think Edge of the Earth is fine. So Zoe has Stupor. And Monterey Jack. Oh, wait, no. That's one you said you couldn't do. I'm going to have to... Oh, yeah. Sorry. Monterey Jack has Your Worst Nightmare. It's a very interesting weakness because it does let you evade, and Monterey Jack does have high agility, so maybe that'll work out. Next up, we have team name Artistic Therapy from Amaretus. Campaign play along weaknesses only. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not... Well, that's just really rude for no reason, so let's not do that. I drew 2 copies of Amnesia. So you're getting the first copy of Amnesia for Stefana. I'm sorry. But I guess you get to burn the other copy for everybody else. So lucky everybody else, no Amnesia because Amaretus jumped on the grenade for you. Wow, some of these are like needlessly mean. Carolyn Fern has the Tower, which is, in my opinion, one of the worst. It's not like the worst weaknesses, but it's definitely like top 5 or something. It's brutal. Why does it cost 4? Tasty Toast. Team name. I hope 2 willpower is enough. Bob Jenkins has an accursed follower, as always. Using curse tokens in non-Innsmouth is pretty interesting because you don't have a lot of ways to manipulate them. And Tony has the Devil. That's a tarot card that makes you not be able to play assets, but it is slightly cheaper than a tower. So. Next up, we have a Mask with Under Observation. And now, Mask, you have left instructions here, but fortunately for you, I know what you really want. And, well, I guess I'm just going to have to see if I can find it here somewhere. Let me just grab the damned you really want, because Mask is playing Roland Banks, Parallel Roland, with Observed as his, I think, 4 out of his 5 starting XP. So now he gets to do 3 tarot readings for every scenario. Enjoy, buddy. That one's for you. Anybody else who really wants to bribe me? Chocolate works. Mask can confirm chocolate does work. Next up, we have Witches Be Trippin' by Adhidri. Full collection for Tommy, an accursed follower. For Monty, I assume that's Monterey Jack. Oh, Unspeakable Oath Bloodthirst. Ooh, that's rough. But what's the damage options in the campaign play along? There's probably something, right? You'll make it work. For Calvin, a Dread Curse. Oh, there's a lot of curse tokens happening in your neck of the woods. And for Jay Fine, aka Jacqueline Fine, she's Indebted. That's an interesting set of weaknesses, and it looks like you're playing 4-handed solo. So I hope you make it work. Next up, we have Color of the Other World, aka Purple. This is a 4-player. Oh, it's a 4-player group, but I have to draw differently for 2 of the investigators and 2 of the other investigators, presumably because this is a different multiple players. Some don't have the entire collection. So for Dexter, Dexter has the tower, which actually has a little bit of interesting interaction with Dexter because it is an asset, so he can put it into play and then use his ability to get rid of it and get at least a discount out of it. Lily is, of course, drawing the sign. Akachi has... That doesn't work for Akachi. I believe this does. Don't you like it? Yeah, that's fine. Akachi has an internal injury. And I need to shuffle this pile better, is what I'm reading. Marie has paranoia. And Mr. Mask is asking if it's a good deal chocolate for damnation. I guess it's chocolate for the specific kind of damnation because none of the cards in this pile are particularly nice, but this one's the one you really want. So, and it was specifically like, I believe it's brownies. I don't actually know, like I haven't gotten them yet, so I guess, you know, maybe there's no chocolate at all. The chocolate is a lie, but I believe it's brownies, which is ooh. Next up, we have Team Nung, who has a single weakness for Trish. Also paranoia. Ooh, on a rogue. That's a rough deal. Next up for Volt Claws. Campaign play along plus return 2 cards for Winifred. That's not either. That is Silver Twilight Acolyte. Right, this I always forget this guy exists, and then it's really, really, really rough when it happens. And for Gloria, the other copy of the Devil. So that's not an easy set of weaknesses. I hope you can manage. Feel a little bad for somebody who helped me out by doing a terror reveal and then giving them those weaknesses, but mercies for the week. Next up, we have Harvey W. Full collection, including return 2. We have just a solo Harvey, wow. And Harvey has Psychosis. Okay, well, alright. Next up, we have Team Squad Goals. The heartwarming true story of the Michigan University charity. Wow, that's a... Some of these names are really, really, really funny. Full collection for Roland Banks Half Parallel. I guess that's just parallel. The 13th Vision. I hope I'm still holding these cards in the right spot because I haven't actually checked. Let me just check that the cards are in the right spot. And for Joe Diamond, Chronophobia. Ooh, that's rough on 6 Sanity Investigator. Next up for J Marsh, the Astounding Discoveries. Rex has Chronophobia. And Agnes is overzealous. And Joe drawing 15 encounter cards in one Mythos phase during before the Black Throne. If you get there. For Jack Christian, for the Hyperboreans, which is Agnes Baker, Nihilism. You'll be fine. Next one. Okay. Next one we have the Silver Twilight Forgeries by Onsmap. Sefina has Kleptomania. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work because it's through solo. So you're not getting Kleptomania. You're getting Panic, which is the play, engage, or resource action. Something tells me that's maybe not the worst on Sefina. Although I guess all your events are play actions, right? So that's kind of rough. Next up for Smutcher, the Oxford Explorer, which I'm... Oh, it's Joe. It's actually not Ursula. I would have expected that to be Ursula. It has to be a CPA weakness, which is going to be Hypochondria, which is the one that the art that nobody likes. Or well, like people like it, but it's just... Yeah. I see that the next couple are all CPA only draws, and I've actually just run out of my weakness stack, so time to shuffle. For Joestuk, no idea how to pronounce that, that's kind of the tricky one. An actual Team Joestuk, which is two-handed solo with Diana and Preston. Just filling that air here. Diana has Amnesia, which sounds bad, but it's actually the play along that has Deny Existence in it, and you're probably playing Deny Existence in Diana, so you can actually cancel that. And you haven't said if you want return 2 or not, so if you
If you are okay with a return 2 weakness, then Preston has the Devil. And if you're not okay with it, then it's Stubborn Detective. So that's just like, figure it out. And your other team, because you also have a true solo game, Sefina, who is Haunted. That's very thematic. Next up for Magma, I just lost a copy of Haunted somewhere. It's fine. It's fine. I have more of those. Who's playing due to the bathrobe? Okay. Wait, that's okay. For Stella Clark, wait, I think something. No, it's for Luke Robinson. Sorry, there's Luke Robinson and Stella Clark. I was momentarily confused because I didn't see Luke, but Luke is also there. Full collection, but no return 2. Stella has Panic, and Luke has Narcolepsy. That's so thematic. Luke having narcolepsy. Of course he does. And then we also have Preston Fairmont and Diana Stent. Oh, sorry, this is a different team. For Vlad the Impaler, Fighting Cultist with Cultists, Preston Fairmont and Diana Stanley. Preston has Self-Destructive, so I guess he's not going to be doing too much fighting. And Diana has Hypochondric, which I guess if you're used to getting all kind of blood and weird stuff on your hands from the weird rituals you're doing at the Silver Twilight, I would also be a little like, wash your hands, kids. And then I believe we only have one left, which is the Actelion. For Parallel Daisy. And Mark. Oh, sorry, the two-handed solo game. So Parallel Daisy has a CPA only weakness, and it's a Nihilism. And Mark has Paranoia, because why do Guardians need resources? So I'm just going to quickly refresh the spreadsheet to make sure that there's no latecomers. No. Then I want to check with Discord, make sure that there are people in there who would love to draw their weaknesses. I do see people pinging me, but that's not. Is there anybody in chat right now who has any questions or would love to hear more weakness draws? Because I'm here now. My throat's a little sore, but I'm here for at least a couple more minutes. And I'm drinking water, which you should also do. Narcoleptic Luke is very thematic, but also very rough. I mean, it is and it isn't. I think narcolepsy, like on the whole of it, it's the main thing that you want to avoid with narcolepsy. I find is just try to avoid drawing in like as your first action during your turn, because you might just lose your turn. Right? That's when narcolepsy is really rough. But one of the things is like you can, so it's you put it in your turn, you can take actions, trigger abilities, or play cards, and then as an action wake up, so somebody else has to wake you up. After you take damage or discard narcolepsy. So I feel like a lot of the time you're going to try to like you just try not to get too far away from your teammates, which I mean, that is kind of rough if you're playing Luke, because you get all that mobility and then you can't use it. The other thing that I guess is also kind of rough, especially about this campaign, is that there are parts of the campaign where you can't be with your teammate. I didn't really think about, but yeah, that makes the team-based weaknesses very rough. Alright. If there's nobody in chat who is screaming for me to put another weakness on screen, then I'm going to go back to the presentation. I'm going to thank everybody for watching. As always, the campaign play along is kind of this just like fun project that I started because I thought it would be a nice thing to do in a pandemic world, but it's grown to be a bit more than that because obviously I've put quite a bit of time and effort into it, and I really appreciate everybody who's talking about how excited they are for it, how fun the things that I've added are, like the tarot draw. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you. If you have any feedback, let me know. Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the campaign play along. I think that's the most important message that I have. Have fun. I'm having fun if you're having fun. That's why I do it. So with that, I bid you all a fantastic weekend. I hope you have a good time. I hope to see you in the Discord, and I'll be seeing you until the end of time. Thank you so much. Bye.